Hi, in this video we will see what is Zoho Expense, how to sign up and get started, how to invite users and set up approvals, how to record expenses, how to submit expenses, how to approve or reject expense reports which are submitted, how to reimburse your employees, and finally we'll take a look at the other features. Zoho Expense is an online expense reporting tool, so you can record and submit expenses from anywhere, anytime on any device. With Zoho Expense, you can raise a travel request and set an multi-level approval for the trip request submitted. Upon approval, your employees have an option to request for a cash advance. You don't need the trips module? Simple, disable it in a single click of a button, making it easy to customize Zoho Expense based on your business needs. Zoho Expense offers multiple ways to record expenses during the trip. My favorite one is taking a snap of the receipt. Zoho Expense will scan the receipt to automatically record that as an expense. Employees can then compile the list of expenses they have incurred into a report and then submit them for approval. You can set up a single or multi-stage approval to approve them. Once approved, you can reimburse your employees and push that company's expense to your accounting software. Zoho Expense, a simple way to manage your company's expenditures. Let's get started with Zoho Expense. If you are an existing Zoho user, click on the Sign In button placed on top right corner. You can use your registered email address and password to log in. If you are a new user, click on the Sign Up button. Now you will be taken to the Sign Up page. Once done, you'll be taken to your Zoho Expense account. You can access all the key features from the left navigation panel. After completing the setup, you can further configure the product from the settings section. Give a personal touch to your expense account by adding your business logo here. You can customize the fields you will be using in each and every tab. For example, here let's make a reference number as mandatory field for expenses. Categories helps you to classify your expenses better. These are expense accounts when it comes to your accounting software. You will find the list of predefined categories here. To create a new category, click on this plus new category button. Enter the name. You can check this box to make this a subcategory and choose the parent category here. Now save this. If you have a list of categories with you, click here and select Import Categories. Please download the sample file, align your data according to the sample file and import the data. Policies are a set of criteria to manage your business expenditures efficiently. For example, you can create a policy for your marketing team and set an expense limit restriction as $1,000 for a specific expense category. You can also create another policy for the sales team and set an expense limit restriction as $500 for the same expense category. Let's go to the admin section and click on Policies tab. By default, a policy will be created when you create an organization. To add a new policy, click on this plus new policy button. Give this policy a name and description. Add the policy admin. Companies will have a travel document with rules on corporate card usage, list of allowed expenses, time frame on submitting the expenses, approval and reimbursement of expenses, and so on. You can upload the soft copy of this travel document here for easy reference. So, employees associated with this policy will find this document on the top right corner when they log in. You can configure general policy rules here. For example, you can set the maximum expense limit irrespective of the expense category in which they record an expense. Under the Manage Category tab, you can select a list of categories they can access. Check the box to provide access and check the box to remove them. If you would like to specify the expense limit on a specific category, click on that category and specify the amount here. You can use this section to specify the mileage rate applicable to this particular policy. You can add new rates using this option. You can specify the default category here and add the daily allowance for different type of expenses. For example, lodging allowance, cab allowance, etc. Once done, save this policy. You can create as many policies as you need based on your business requirement and associate them with the users. Let's see how you can invite your employees into your Zoho Expense account. Head to the Admin tab and click on User section. You will find the list of users here. First, let's customize the user role. Click on the Roles tab. You will find the predefined set of roles here. To create a new role, click on this plus new role button. Give this role a name and add a description. All you have to do is check the box to provide access and uncheck the box to deny access corresponding to each and every section. Now, to invite users, click on this plus new user button. Enter the name, email address. Now, associate the role. Choose an employee to whom this person will be submitting his expenses to. For example, here, whenever John submits the expense report, it will be sent to Patricia for approval. Now, say John is in a position to approve submitted reports by Manish. Also, when he approves it, the report should be forwarded to Charles. In that case, choose Charles here in this approves and forward section. By this, when John approves the report submitted by Manish, it will be automatically forwarded to Charles for further verification. This is a two-stage approval setup. Apart from this, we also have custom approvals where you can set up multi-level criteria-based approvals. You can also add additional information with respect to this employee. When you click on invite, an invitation email will be sent to the email address specified, and upon accepting the invitation, John can access this company. Let's see how an expense can be recorded and submitted from Zoho Expense from an employee standpoint. Since Manish is not the admin of the organization, he cannot view this admin tab nor the gear icon on the top right corner. Zoho Expense offers you different ways in which you can record expenses. We have auto scan, you can manually record the expenses, you can record mileage expenses, per diem expenses, and you can also associate your credit card and then convert an expense from the feeds. Let's talk about auto scan. Auto scan reads the data from the receipt and all the major details like the date, amount, merchant name, etc. are captured to create an expense entry automatically. You can use our mobile phone app to take a snap of the receipt. Or from our web application, you can drag and drop the receipt directly. If you have a receipt stored in your cloud, you can connect with them and upload the receipts into Zoho Expense. If you receive your expense receipt to your mailbox, you can simply forward them to this particular email address. A unique email address for each and every user will be created in Zoho Expense, so when you forward an expense receipt to that email address, it will be recorded to their account. This is a preview of the information which is captured from the receipts. You can cross-check them and add more details if necessary. Once done, save them. If you wish to manually enter the data to create expenses, click on this plus new icon right next to expenses. Choose the date and category, enter the amount and choose the tax. If you have multiple tax involved in single expense, for example, say you have a dinner expense with food, wine and tips included, and you can click here to specify them separately and add taxes individually. By this, you will have a better clarity of this particular expense. If this is an expense incurred in different currency, simply choose the currency. Zoho Expense will automatically convert that to your base currency. Check this box if you'd like to claim reimbursement, or say you're using the corporate card and you don't need reimbursements, you can simply uncheck the box. You can attach an expense receipt here, add other details and save this expense. You can choose the expense category here and choose how you are going to calculate mileage, either with the total distance traveled or with the odometer reading. In case of distance traveled, simply enter the total distance here and the amount will be automatically calculated. You can add other details and save this. With our mobile phone application, you can use GPS to automatically track the distance, or you can also use the from and to location within maps to calculate the distance. Admin can set the daily allowance for different types of expenses, for example, lodging allowance, meal allowance, etc. As a user, you can simply choose the type of per diem rate and add the number of days here. The amount will be automatically added. Check this box if you'd like to claim reimbursement, add other details and simply save this. With Zoho Expense, you can add both your personal and corporate cards and record expenses from them. Once connected, Zoho Expense will fetch feeds, nothing but your bank statements. From the feeds, you can create an expense, or if you have already recorded that expense inside the application, you can match them. To connect cards, from the card section, click on Add Corporate Card or click here to Add Personal Card. Right now, we have direct feed integration with American Express, MasterCard and Visa. With direct feed integration, feeds will be provided directly from MasterCard, Visa or American Express. This is updated periodically with little to no prone to error. To set up direct feed integration, you will have to follow the steps provided here. You can also connect with your bank directly to fetch feeds. Choose your card from here or use this option to search. Enter the credentials and save it. Now Zoho Expense will fetch your bank feeds. When you click on a particular feed, you will have an option to convert that to an expense. If you have recorded an expense transaction already, you will have this option called Merge to match this feed with that particular expense. Say you have used your card for an expense. You have scanned the receipt and Zoho Expense has recorded that as an expense. Now, when Zoho Expense fetches the bank statement, instead of matching the expense with the one which you have recorded already, you have created a new one. Now, there is two expenses recorded within Zoho Expense for a single transaction. In this case, when you take a look at the list of expenses, Zoho Expense will populate them as possible duplicates. You can click on them to know more. If this is a duplicate, you can delete them. If not, you can mark them as not duplicate, thus making it easy to avoid duplicates inside the system. You will find your list of expenses in this section. When you click on one, you will find more details on the right pane. You can use this option to split this particular expense. You can choose to split by amount or by date or by field. Once done, save it. You can use this option to merge two expenses together. Let's compile the list of expenses which we have recorded inside the system and then submit it for approval. Click on this plus new icon right next to report section. Enter the title, specify the duration here. You can also associate the trip here. Now add the list of expenses. You can also create a new expense right from this section. Now click on the save button to save this report and later submit it, or click on save and submit to submit them right away. This is a preview of your expense report. If you have received an advance payment, please make sure to apply them before submitting the expense report. You will find the approval hierarchy here. You can print or download the report using the option here. As soon as an expense report is submitted, as an approver, you will be notified. You can simply click here, which will take you to that report, or you can go to Reports Approval section, select the particular report, and you will view the individual expenses here. If there is any policy violation, that will be notified with this icon. You can comment on individual expenses using this option. Now, as soon as you comment, your employee will be notified regarding this and they can respond in the same section. So, you can always come back to this section to know the conversation between you and your employee regarding this particular expense. Click here to approve the report, or if you wish to reject it, click on this button. Once approved, you can record reimbursement. Specify the details here and save it. Now, this is your company's expense, and this can be set to automatically record in your accounting software based on the integration you have set up inside Zoho Expense. We are integrated with Zoho Books and QuickBooks, both desktop and online. You can configure them under this integration section. For example, when it comes to Zoho Books, this approved expense will be automatically added as a business expense inside the expense section. You can use this filter to view the list of expenses posted from Zoho Expense. In the same fashion, you can approve or reject a trip request submitted by your users. Analytics gives a better visibility of your business expenses with 15+ reports. All of these reports can be exported as PDF, CSV, or an Excel format. Please take a look at the other features available with Zoho Expense. Hope this video helped you understand Zoho Expense and its features better. Let us know if you need any further assistance. Send your emails to support@zohoexpense.com. Thank you.